Shout out to us up here at App Stupid. We keep on rocking. We keep on moving forward. We got done talking about Steph Curry, how he broke Serbia, and the USA is going to get their 5th consecutive gold medal this Saturday. Make sure you go ahead and check that game out. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Then we talk some 49er football, how the San Francisco 49ers are becoming a clown show and a joke. They refuse to pay Brandon Ayuk his money and turned around and paid Robbie Cheetos. Yeah, that's just dumb. I'm not going over that. Now we're going to go talk some Atlanta Falcons football in the NFC South. This is starting to have a deja vu effect on me, to where I've seen this play out before. Now, Michael Penix, he's going to take a heavy snap count in the preseason. This is from 2 sources also. This is going to be from Yahoo Sports and Charles Robinson and bloggingdirty.com, Nick Halden. Then there's going to be some of myself inserted into this as well. Now, make sure you catch Atlanta's preseason games. The best case plan for the 2024 is for those vast majority of all the snaps. Michael Penix Jr. is going to be live throwing these balls and giving the Atlanta fans something to cheer about. He's throwing sharp, effortless passes against the Falcons' first-team defense. And that makes him must-see TV in the Atlanta area. Atlanta fans, are you buying that? Now, Penix, he's got weapons like tight end Kyle Pitts, who's arguably been the Falcons' best player in camp. And then you add in the free agent addition of Charlie Warner. He appears to be paying out dividends in that tight end room. The Falcons, faithful, are you sold on any of that? You have 2 ridiculously talented tight ends. Running back, Bijan Robinson, his touches are expected to be far more consistent from the game to game as the Falcons strive for balance. Wide receiver Drake London is drilling on precision. That's his mission this year. Will he be successful? Who knows? Dirty Birds, gang gang. How do you feel about that? Now, bloggingdirty.com, Nick Halden, he points out the obvious, saying Michael Penix Jr.'s camp performance is putting Kirk Cousins on notice. Now, let's go ahead and spin the block for a second. Kirk Cousins was signed to the Atlanta Falcons for an ungodly sum of money. They don't even expect him to reach the back end of that contract. They don't expect him to reach the back end of that contract. And then when they picked up Michael Penix in the draft, you had a lot of teams in the traditional media. They were like, oh my God, why would you go after another quarterback? You have Kirk Cousins. You've got a 35-year-old quarterback coming back from an ACL injury. Why would you go after another quarterback when Michael Penix was that good? The kid played in multiple systems and went and played in the college national championship game. And for some reason, him being drafted as a highly touted pick, that's unreasonable. But a guy like Drake May, who's never been to the ACC championship, who's never won a bowl game, somehow he gets picked by Miami and nobody says absolutely nothing. Yeah, get the hell out of here. See, a large part of the reason that the Atlanta Falcons selection of Michael Penix Jr. has been so heavily criticized is the timing of the move, because Kirk Cousins had just handed a 4-year deal that was worth $180 million. But they made it clear you have no plans to honor the length of the deal. So they made that perfectly clear that they got him just to go ahead and get this maturation process going. And then that gave me horrible vibes. Part of this is the nature of the business. It's a brutal look to spend on a top 10 pick at a position you just paid $180 million to find the answer for. Now, this doesn't get any easier as you're headed into camp, and Penix has continually shown flashes of his potential. Now, make no mistake, this isn't a quarterback battle happening in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins, he's got the job. Now, that's without question. However, each strong performance and great throw from Penix serves as a reminder that Cousins is on borrowed time despite the hefty contract. Now let that sink in. Now he's got a young hotshot arm waiting in the wings, and if he doesn't meet expectations, the Falcons can walk away from the veteran by the third year of the deal. The Falcons can walk away by the third year of that deal. No matter if he, like I said, for this big contract that they gave him, it's not fully guaranteed the money or the time. And as you get older, you don't get better. Your timing starts to fall and falter. You're on the backside of your 30s, your mid-30s. You had an ACL tear, so that's going to kind of mess with your mobility. So he's got to put up big numbers, and he's got to get them into the playoffs because that's why they got him. Through no fault of his own, Penix is going to spark a consistent quarterback debate simply by being on the roster. If the veteran is anything less than perfect and consistently winning, there will be a portion of Atlanta fans that are anxious to see Penix take the field. That's the part where it starts to get eerie. And I kept saying, is this deja vu? Is this Atlanta redo or redux? And the reason I say that is because Chris Chandler and Michael Vick. Again, nobody wants to draw any of these comparisons in the media because they have shit for brains. And I do all the research for you guys because I love you. Not ancient history, but those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. Because if you don't know it, you're doomed to repeat it. You know the saying, and for those who can't think on my level, Chandler was the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons in the Dirty Bird era. Now, Chandler beat the San Francisco 49ers 20-18. And then they upset Randy Moss and the Vikings on the road to 30-27 before they lost to Denver in the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl in 1998, the next year, they went 5-11. It also hurt because the 99 Super Bowl was played in the Georgia Dome. The 2000s wasn't any better for the Dirty Bird gang. They went 4-12. Enter 2001, and they draft Mike Vick. Now, personal story time, I was an Atlanta resident, and I remember when they drafted Michael Vick, and I remember everybody went crazy because they unveiled the new Atlanta Falcons jerseys. And I was on a train in 5 Points where we was coming out of the station going to Doraville on the MARTA. There was a 100-foot backdrop. It said Michael Vick Experience. I still get chills thinking about that. The Michael Vick Experience. And they put it in the middle of the city, so no matter where you were catching the MARTA and you came out of the tunnels, you can see Michael Vick being the center of Atlanta. That was crazy. That was crazy. I was like, wow, mind blown. 2001, you enter Mike Vick. Now, Chandler, he still had the start, and the Dirty Bird faithful called for the change mid-season. The rest is history. I'm not saying this is the same way, but this feels like we're watching this all over again. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is going to stink the joint up, but they already have their guy in Michael Penix Jr. In case Kirk Cousins doesn't perform, this guy who's been impressing everybody in camp, he's going to take a majority of the snaps in preseason. He's going to show the Atlanta faithful that, yes, we're in good hands if this Kirk Cousins thing falls apart. Kirk Cousins knows it. And that brings me back to where I am now. And I swear I'm the best in the world at doing this. Because Kirk Cousins understands this, and he's fully aware of the level of pressure on him. If Cousins cannot get it done, the difficult conversations might begin about how soon Atlanta is willing to move on. A discussion that will grow louder and louder with each step forward that Penix takes in the progressions. Don't let it be a situation where the Atlanta Falcons have some team blown out and then they pull Kirk Cousins and puts this guy in and he starts making these crazy passes. And these guys start stat stuffing. You don't want to see that. And if you're a fan of Kirk Cousins, this has got to trouble you. This has got to be troubling. All right, y'all. I had a good time today. That's the show. We had a lot of fun. We'll be back on Monday morning with more shows and hopefully a Team USA win. This is Big Vern. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and everything we got going. Have a good weekend.